Okay, so the four AOKs, I'll introduce two of them because there's three people in our group. So like technology is an area of knowledge because especially in our new modern era, like as technology advances, it opens up just more ways of learning and also stuff to know about, like computer science. It's a whole different section of science that was invented because of technology, right? So it's a complete area of knowledge. And then say language is an area of knowledge because it's like communication. So not only in the sense of like talking and speaking, but like writing and scripting and reading, all of that is an area of knowledge in itself because that's how you communicate with others, how you can communicate with past generations, and how you could communicate with future generations. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree, guys. And also with the recent newest, I wouldn't call it new anymore, but the most like interesting technology to me of our century, I guess, would be like the coming usage of AI. And if you show this if you show this to like a person living on Earth like 300 years ago, they would like see AI and they would like be shocked because we created intelligence out of thin air, which is quite surprising. If you asked a person 300 years ago, they would have never thought about this. And I with what Ruhan is saying, with all the computer science and everything, we can all combine each field and create something new from it. Avi, would you like to say something?
Yeah, I would say that when it comes to the development of such technologies, you would have to look at its integration as well. And it kind of connects to the theme of language as well, where we can see that using this generative AI technology, we're able to create something that can communicate with people in a more human-like manner. And I think the biggest limitation that we can see with AI right now is the fact that it only is working off of a culmination of all of our human knowledge. It's not working off of its own knowledge, and it would take years for it to develop its own knowledge of time.
Yeah, and I mean, adding like a personal connection to this, at least with ChatGPT, in my experience, like also first of all, ChatGPT is like kind of a, or AI in general is like a blend of a lot of different area of knowledges. Like you have technology, but you also have language because you have to communicate to the like AI model in a way that it can understand what you want to do. And then of course, AI, anything like computer science is really always math.
Yeah.
And so, in my personal experience, when I'm sometimes using like some sort of AI for a thing, like if I'm using it for schoolwork, like math homework, I can use it to help tutor me because it can kind of understand like what questions I'm asking, and based on that, I can ask it to ask harder questions, easier questions, and anything like that. But also from my personal experience, like sometimes it'll get it wrong or it won't understand. Like if you ask it to show you like the work behind solving a certain problem, it could differ from like the work with the teacher, which just shows that like it still has a lot to grow, but it's still a tool right now.
Well, to add on to you, I always thought of ChatGPT or any AI tools as a calculator, meaning they'll give you what you put in, like Miss Moore would say, Avi. And then if you put in like all of these letters that ChatGPT isn't able to understand, they're gonna give you something that you're not gonna understand. So to use technology, you have to get um some language out of the way too, to add on to what Ruhan is saying.
Yeah. I think we've talked a good amount of technology, and I feel like when it comes to generative AI and it not being able to understand certain terms or certain ways of speech, we could see that connection with the idea of language, and we understand language to be this area of knowledge for how we are able to communicate knowledge to one another and how we are able to transfer and preserve knowledge throughout our society over time. And when
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead, Ruhan.
I'm gonna connect this to human sciences because like lately, as we've seen, I think ChatGPT and other AI models have started making like robots or AI robots that can like communicate to you in a more humanly manner. Like I don't know if you guys saw like the ChatGPT robot video of them like eating an apple and like doing the dish, or giving the human an apple and doing the dishes and stuff like that, which I think is really like it's advancing at such a fast rate, because I feel like just like a couple days ago it had just came out and I was using it in online school, and now they're creating actual robots that you can ask to give you food, and it gives you the apple instead of something like plate, and it can do the dishes for you. And this kind of connects to human sciences, because now they're incorporating like human movements and biology and stuff like that. It's understanding humans at a deeper level. And I'm just curious as to like how it would grow in the future, maybe coming to a level where it could like be a health thing for humans and help humans like in a healthy way. Like maybe the elderly, help them like walk, or disabled people, something like that. I think that's kind of interesting to talk about.
Yeah. I like that you brought it up. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed this like pretty insane detail they went into the robots, but I personally noticed the video being super scary where the robot was giving the hu was talk also has dialogue and while it's handing the apple to the human, it was speaking to the human, and while it stuttered a little bit, which is so scary. Which I don't know. I'm not sure how we can program. Um, s- I'm programming that onto a robot.
Yeah, I actually did notice that. I saw the video on like I think it was TikTok or something, and I did notice the video caption was actually like the robot says or something. And when I was listening, it said I think it was yeah, when he was asking for the apple and she was like and she literally said which I was like, what the heck? Like that's kind of crazy to think about. Like they're literally talking as if a human would talk. And the more surprise, like the speed that they're advancing is like actually just crazy. Like I can't even imagine how insane it would be in just say 1 or 2 years. Like, will we just be seeing robots all around us? Like, it could be insane, you know?
Yeah. And I could most definitely see that. I feel like with the technology that we've developed over time, and I feel like the development of math as well, that's been really emerging a lot because from the advancement within mathematics, we're able to advance our technology forward, especially with AI, which requires a bunch of models and data training to ensure that mathematically everything adds up, right? So it kind of opens that area of knowledge for mathematics as this way to compute values and be able to create more quantitative data that is able to represent real world situations or real world actions. It's similar to language, but unlike a language's complexity, it is more based within fact. And that's something interesting that we can notice.
Yeah, math is kind of basically like the language of technology, I guess you could say, because it's how you talk to like computers and all of that. And I think time-wise, we're kind of close. So, we can conclude like to summarize kind of our discussion and key insights. I think most of our talk was kind of revolved around AI, just because that's kind of what's going on right now in the world, and it's like a huge developing area of knowledge, and it's a blend of most of the like all the areas of knowledge. So our discussion kind of revolved around that. But what do you guys think are like broader implications besides AI, just to wrap up our discussion?
I think when we look at how these things combine together, we're going to see the broader implication
Hero.
that like all of these human aspects will affect each other in the future and will develop on top of each other. When one of these human areas develops more, and that we will have another area develop. And then when that area develops, another area will develop. Like when we saw the development with language, we saw the development with math. And when we saw the development with math, we saw the development with technology. And when we see the development with technology, we see a development within human sciences. And that's the sort of thing that we would have to look at.
Yeah, just do we want to add anything, or I think our discussion is kind of ending now. We're about to run out of time.
I think that's it for now. Jason, do you have anything?
No.
All right, then sweet. Thank you for watching.
Also, for